I'm doing in this last stage is making sure I've got enough light highlights, accents on the right-hand side of this tree. When I started this tree series about 3 weeks ago now, I believe it was, I went out and painted live, plein air, 4 days in a row, focusing on big old trees. Had a great time and made a lot of delightful new friends in the process. One of the things I said that day, especially before tree number one, is that one of the challenges we all face, anybody thinks that painting trees is easy has just not done it. One of the challenges, the great challenges in doing trees, is that they are they are extreme three-dimensional objects, especially a bare tree like this. If it's a tree covered with leaves, then we're seeing mostly just the near side of the tree. But on a bare tree like this, we are seeing branches that are 40, 50 feet away from us, and then branches that are 5 feet away from us. That's an extreme dimensionality, if I can use that word. And we're trying to convey that on a two-dimensional surface. That, my friends, is a challenge. So my answer to that challenge is, of course, first of all, look. Look at the tree. Look at what you're looking at. One of the biggest mistakes, again, this is related to why do so many artists do sticky trees? They look like a few sticks. The reason is they didn't look carefully enough at their reference. Either if they're painting from a photograph, they didn't look at the photograph carefully enough, or if they're painting en plein air, they didn't pay enough attention to the tree they were actually looking at. So number one is look, but number two is, in my book, don't try to do it all at once. You've got to paint in layers. And that's part of the reason I wanted to show you this process I'm doing right now. I'm hoping, of course, that feeling as an artist, I'm hoping this is my last layer on this tree. But to give you some idea, I don't know, I lost count, but I would guess there are at least 10 layers of painting. I don't mean like automotive paint piled up 10 deep. That's not what I mean by 10 layers. 10 stages, 10 phases, 10 let's give it a go steps in this tree. And yeah, in some places there may be 10 layers of paint, but it's 10 stages, and that's what gives it the depth. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm achieving a high degree of similitude, a high degree of dimensionality, three-dimensionality, without, and this is important, without getting all obsessive compulsive, without doing a bunch of over-the-top tongue painting, which is my favorite expression, without getting into hyper control mode. Because I want to do a painting, not a picture. I mispronounce the word on purpose always when I'm in this mode. As artists, as painters, I should say, we are painting paintings first and foremost. So in other words, I want to paint a painting more than I want to paint a tree. Oops, I've gone off the screen for you, haven't I there? Sorry about that. Okay, one more little process that I want to do before I quit here. And that is come back. I keep saying, by the way, I'm like a bad preacher. I can keep saying, just one more point. So just one more point. I'm going to do a few dark lines. So I've got some dark black, my favorite color, dark black. That's brown and blue mixed together to make a neutral dark color, because I need some dark branches to be coming down, especially in front of this house over here. Now, just a few, you see, just a few branches. So right now I'm painting the way when people do stick paintings of trees, when they're too stick-ish, this is what they're doing, what I'm doing right now, which is skinny brush, a loose slurry of paint, right, that goes on, and I'm drawing branches. One stroke equals one branch, okay? So there is a time for doing this, but look, it's maybe the very, very last thing that I'm actually going to do on this tree is just a few. And what is being indicated by this are branches that are very close to us, the ones that are sharp, that have a sharp edge and outline. That's another good description, I think, of good painting of trees is most of it is soft. Most of the edges are soft. Only a few of the edges are hard. Okay, so I'm going to stop here in just a moment and take a good long look at this tree, and I'm hoping that I'm going to feel like it's done. And I'm very, very close to finished in any case. Now, what is really funny is that as viewers, the first branches, the first marks in this tree that our eyes will go to, the very first marks they'll go to are the marks like I'm making right here. Because they're the sharpest and the hardest and the most defined. And then our brain will translate, so to speak, will take these marks that I'm making right here and apply that kind of specificity or detail or realism to all the other branches that are very, very loose and abstract. Does that make sense? So we just have to do a few sharp branches, and all the rest of the branches stay soft, and it gives the illusion of depth. Our brain thinks that there's a lot of detail here. In fact, I would like somebody, a non-artist would look at this painting and say, oh, it looks just like a photograph, when in fact it does not at all look like a photograph, not even close. But their brain will tell them it's realistic, when in fact it is actually not realistic. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I hope that helps. I hope that your journey of painting trees has maybe helped a little bit. Oh, I just saw something I want to do right here again. A little bit of scratching on top of some of those lines that I just made. Oh, okay, because I want this tree to feel like it's got what I keep calling 150,000 branches. I'll be back again later today for another one. And by the way, I am so sorry about the titles on these live videos. If anybody's an expert at Mevo, please let me know how to get the title to be correct, because I'll come back in a few minutes and edit it, but for some reason it keeps saying Daily Art Adventure 266.